Okay, and so let me go ahead and share my screen if I can figure out how to do this again. Okay, can everybody see it?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Penny, you can see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to welcome you guys again and glad you could join us for this Tower Garden thing. This is one of my favorite things is our Tower Gardens. I've been doing this for probably 8 years, I'm guessing. I'd like to really look back and see how long it has been, but I absolutely love these Tower Gardens. And so let's see if this thing is going to advance. There it is. So Tower Gardens have been in the news for almost as many years as they've been out. And so I don't know if you guys know where they originated, but years ago when I went down to the Epcot and watched, I went through one of those rides. It was called Living with the Land. And the first time I ever got a glimpse of anything like this was on that little boat ride going through there. And I remember looking at it and thinking, that is the coolest thing I have ever seen. And how awesome would it be if I could ever do something like that at my house? And that was years ago. And so now we get to do that. But so, you know, we have at home, we have our own personal residential towers, but these are some of the ones that are actually in the news. And the Chicago O'Hare Airport had the first commercial installation, and they actually feed the restaurants inside the airport there. And they're in other places around the United States as well, in the Braves Stadium, they're in the Orlando Convention Center, and we even have some here in the Opryland Hotel and just a lot of other places around the country. And it really is the up and coming way to garden. And so Tower Garden, it's a vertical aeroponic growing system. And, you know, we think about hydroponic being the phrase that we're accustomed to hearing, but aeroponic is a combination between water and air. And we use all natural earth mineral growing tonic. And what that really means is it's a liquid because there's no dirt. And so when we grow in a regular garden in a dirt environment, obviously the plants get their nutrients and minerals from the dirt. And so this is just a liquid version of that actually comes from the ground. And it says it's developed by Tim Blank. And as we were talking about the Epcot Center before, that's where he got his start. And for many years, he was the chief horticulturist there. And he just had this vision of taking what they were doing there in the land and bringing that to a residential type of setting. And voila, we came out with Tower Garden. And he stepped away from Epcot a number of years ago to develop this and develop his own company, and it's called Future Growing. And then they partnered with us, the Juice Plus company, to distribute the residential version like this one right here. And so why Tower Garden? Well, you know, right now, I think we're seeing a good reason why. There is a huge interest in doing our own gardening and growing our own food because, well, let's just be honest, there's been a fear of food shortages. And a lot of people really want to buy more locally. And we're hearing a lot more about it in the media. So it's really good reasons for doing this. And I'm just going to tell you too that, you know, it doesn't mean that it's no work, but it is a whole lot less work. They're very easy to install. They're easy to maintain. And because there's no dirt, there's no weeds to pull. So there's no back-breaking work that has to be done with the Tower Garden. And it's a lot less climate sensitive. We can grow these things a lot sooner on an outside setting, at least here in Tennessee, a lot sooner in the spring and take it all the way a lot later into the fall because we have the ability to drop an aquarium heater down into the water tank and keep that water a little bit warmer. So it really increases our growing season outside for a lot longer period of time, which is really cool. And what makes Tower Garden healthier is, well, think about this. When you go to the grocery store and you buy any type of produce, it has been grown somewhere else. And normally that is picked way before it's ripe because they have to do that so that they can truck it across the country and get it to the grocery store. And by the time it gets to your table, it may be a week or more old. And so you're not going to have the taste and the nutrition the way it should be as if it were picked right and eaten right then. So with a Tower Garden, you wait till it's completely ripe before you go out and pick it. So the taste is fantastic. There is nothing like the salads and the lettuces that you will pick off of a tower garden, and all the other stuff too. But I just love the lettuces because we can do that year round. And so Tower Garden makes it gardening very much environmentally friendly because we're using only 10% of the water and 10% of the land. We grow up instead of out like a regular garden. And I was going to show you this quick little video of how it works. So let's see if we can get that to play. Sometimes it's a little bit aggravating. Hang on a second. There you go.
Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your tower garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
Okay. So you can see how easy it is and how it makes so much sense to grow this way vertically. And what I love about this, that it is for anybody, from the littles like Emma with Kevin and Penny, and she's almost 5. She's going to love that tower garden, and all the way up to the elderly. We have a lot of people that are in nursing homes and assisted livings, and they put these towers in there, and a lot of these folks have been gardening their whole lives, and so they absolutely love it. And what we find is that kids who grow their own towers, they go out and they watch it grow every day. They help tend to it. They love it, and they will eat right off of it. We went to a tower farm just recently with Kevin and Penny, and Emma went with us. And she literally was standing there eating the peas, the snap peas off of the towers there. She completely cleaned every one off that was within her reach. It was the cutest thing ever. Just ate them raw. How cool is that?
And Emma does not eat tomatoes, and we couldn't keep her out of the tomatoes either.
Yeah.
She continued to go back and get the tomatoes, and she doesn't like tomatoes. So there you go.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? And so we have 2 different types of towers. This is our original tower called the Flex, because it's flexible. It can be inside or outside. And that's what all of us started with. And you can see the different varieties of plants that you can grow in a tower like this. And so even, they don't have it on here, but watermelon and any kind of thing like that, whatever kind of melon, I can't even get it all out right now, but a lot of different types of huge, big fruiting plants that you can actually grow in the tower garden. They trail away from the tower out onto the ground around it. So yes, even melons are pretty cool on towers. And then the home, Tower Garden Home. This is the new one. It debuted, I guess it was last November, somewhere along that time frame, and it is designed to be strictly in the house, and mostly grown with different types of greens. And at the very top, it has a place for baby greens or microgreens. And it's just awesome. We have a tower inside, and you see the lights here. You can use those interchangeably, whether it's on the inside Tower Garden Home like this one or on the Flex. And so that makes it really cool. You can just literally grow all year round with a tower. And it does pay for itself. And we do have a no interest option. So, and no contract. I mean, you literally get this thing shipped to you and it's on the honor system and you just pay for a month. I mean, every month for 12 months and it's done. And it literally pays for itself in just a year's time in most cases, depending on what you grow. And I'll just show you what it looks like. If you just spend $13 a week on produce, that's how your tower pays for itself. I went to the grocery store the other day and these are the things that I bought. And that was just $12.03. Now for Keith and I, the cucumber's not on there. I forgot to put the cucumber in that picture, but I did buy cucumber that day. And for Keith and I, that may be enough for us to eat on for 3 days. And so you just multiply that times how many days are in the month, and you can see how a tower is going to pay for it itself. For a basic tower is $51.67 a month. So yeah, it pays for itself. And the stuff I bought was not even organic. So you know, if you buy organic, that it's going to be even more costly than that. And everything that you need to get started comes with it. You can see the one on the right for Tower Garden Home. It comes with the nutrients, the rock wool that the seeds are planted in, the pump, everything you need. The one on the left is the Flex, and you get the basics that come with that. You can add some accessories to it, like we have the tomato cage that helps support vining types of plants. And we also have the dolly. It's on wheels that help you to move that thing around if you need to. And so those are add-on accessories that you can get in addition to what comes with the basic towers. But you get even seeds to start with. So everything you need to get started comes with it. And I just wanted to throw a few pictures in here of actual towers. The one on the top left is my outside tower right now. I've got squash planted. You can see that down there on the bottom. And my tomato plant's already got blooms on it. I've got kale, 2 different types of kale, 4 or 5 different kinds of lettuces. I've got green peppers. I've got banana peppers, just a variety of different things on there. There's 20 different growing ports on a basic tower. And I will just say you can add 2 more sections and give 8 more growing ports if you want to. The one in the center top is my friend's inside tower. Mine looks just like that, but I put his picture up there. And he is not able to grow outside anymore because he moved to a development that won't allow him to put his tower outside, which is a bummer. So he just moved his inside. The one on the top right is my friend Kim. She's got 2 towers. And if you see her, she's right there peeking through the middle of it. That's how big her towers get outside with all of the squashes and different plants that she grows. And all across the bottom, my friend Mike is in the middle. I went to high school with him, and that's a piece of bok choy. Look at the size of that thing that he grows on his inside tower that you see right above him. And he also grows cherry tomatoes inside. Now, when I will tell you, you can do that. I don't personally do that because you have to be the bee if you're doing it inside, because obviously outside our bees are the pollinators, and flowering plants to fruit have to be pollinated. And so he goes in there and he just loves on his tomato plant every day, and he sees the blooms, and he takes a little electric toothbrush and gathers the pollen from one bloom and transfers it to another. He puts a little fan on it, and you can see the tomatoes growing there. It's just amazing. And then the one on the right on the bottom is Mike's outside tower before he moved. And again, you can see just how big those things get. So it's just an amazing thing. And Tower Garden gives you all of the service that you need. TowerGarden.com website is just absolutely full of information and helpful tips and tricks that you need to know to grow, because a lot of people have never gardened before, and so they need that instruction. And there's also a Tower Garden YouTube channel, and that one is a very good place to go for resources. And of course, all of us that have towers already really is a really good resource for you, because likely most of us have already done this for a number of years, and we can tell you what works for us and what maybe might be a better solution for you. And just to pull it all together here at the end, Tower Garden is a part of the Juice Plus company. It was added probably 9 years ago, something like that, and it really is a perfect addition to what our mission statement is, which is inspiring healthy living around the world. And so these are our Juice Plus products, and it is fruits and vegetables and berries, either in capsule form or gummies. We have some protein bars and we have protein shakes. And so what I like to tell people that Tower Garden for a lot of people is just a seasonal kind of thing, unless you decide to grow inside. And we need good nutrition all year round, not just when we can get fresh produce. And so the Juice Plus products are really, that's year-round nutrition because it is just fruits and vegetables. And it's been on the market for over 25 years, the Juice Plus brand has. And we just know that you can eat healthy as much as we possibly can, but most of us are not eating as much as we really need to. So that's where Juice Plus comes in. It just really fills in the gap of what we are eating and what we should be eating. And so that's pretty much all I have to share on the Tower Garden. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if there's anybody that has any questions about it, then we will be glad to answer that. So I think we lost Carla there. She was just on her iPhone, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, she was on her phone in the car, and she sent me a message that she couldn't get hooked up. She could never hear. She said, I don't know how to work this very well. So anyway, but you recorded it, right?
I did. It's still recording now. So, you know, if she wants to rewatch later. So if there's any questions, I know Penny's brand new to it, but she's already enjoying hers and watching it grow. So, and I'm right here, so you can, you know, ask us anytime you have any questions. And if I don't have the answers, then I certainly have the resources of where we can find it. So,
Sherry, you might want to share that Facebook page that they told us about.
Yeah, it's Tower to Table, hashtag Tower Garden, I believe is, or maybe Tower Garden, hashtag Tower to Table. It's one of those. And that is the official Facebook page. And that's a place where you can ask questions. They post resources on there. I think, Penny, we added you to that page, didn't we? Yeah. So that's a really good place to go for that. So that's pretty much all I had. I knew I was going to keep it real short and simple today. And again, Luann, if you guys have any questions about it, feel free to ask.
No questions yet, but thank you. This was good. Gave me more information.
Yeah, absolutely love our towers. Like I said, we've been doing it for 8 years or so. Debbie has 3, don't you? 4, you have 4 towers. We have 3.
Oh.
I keep one growing inside year round, and Wayne and Debbie do also, because it just makes sense. You know how you get in the summertime, a lot of time there's recalls on lettuces for contamination and stuff like that. Guess what? I don't ever have to worry about that because mine, I know that it's not contaminated. I literally go out there and pick it right off and take it right to the table and eat it right then and there. Oh, and that's the other thing I was going to say too before we finish up. You know how also when you go to the grocery store and a lot of times you think, oh, I'm going to eat healthy this week and I buy all of this produce. And what happens? It sits in your refrigerator and it goes bad before you eat it.
Right.
That has happened to me more than I want to admit. But that's the cool thing with the tower, because you don't pick it until you're ready to eat it and harvest it right then. So you don't really ever have waste and spoilage that way. So it really is just another way that it helps to pay for itself.
And you'll learn every year what works for you and what you are going to eat, what you want to plant for the next year. I mean, we've been doing this for, oh my goodness, 10 years, I guess?
Well, you got your first one when it first came out. Literally,
Yeah.
You were the first one that got one.
Yes, my husband, they flew him. He was one that they flew to Florida when they first introduced that. And he came home. They actually sent us a free one and we bought another one. And it's just, I mean, it's still fun. Every year you're learning. Like I said, we've had it, I guess, about 10 years, and every year we learn something different. So it's always a learning, fun experience.
And like you said, you have to figure out where you're going to grow from. Like some of you guys we're in Texas. Your growing season will be different than ours here in Tennessee, and you need to find out what your environment is and grow when you can grow. Maybe you might have to put into more shade if it's just burning up hot. Florida would be the same way. Even here in Tennessee, we get some of those days as well. We have a lot of trees, so I have to be careful where I put it. They need to have sun. And so, it's just really particular about you and your environment. You learn that.
I was going to say to you, Texas people, when I was in Texas, we had one that hot year, like 2011, where it was 208 to 214 every day. And ours still did good because, it's getting water coming up through there. And the favorite on there in Texas was cucumbers. And I took a bunch to my office. They were so good because they didn't have that slimy crap, slick stuff they put on the outside of it, at the store. And so they were very fresh tasting. They were wonderful. And on that tower garden, we raised 40 cucumbers that year. That's a lot of cucumbers.
Just from one plant, probably.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Do you normally just do one of each type or two of each type or?
Well, here's the thing. With a tower, you need to plant your smaller plants at the very top, your mid-sized plants in the middle, and your really big ones at the bottom. So at the most, 2 tomato plants.
Okay.
They have a lot of huge roots, and the same with squash or anything else. And so you maybe 1 or 2 of each one of those, and that works best.
Would strawberries be at the bottom?
I'm sorry?
Strawberries, would they be at the bottom or the
No,
middle?
you put those at the top. They're small, so they need to go at the
Okay.
top. Lettuce
me
is,
I'll warn you about the cherry tomatoes. We made a mistake one year and put out 4. We could have fed an army, 2 armies. And I mean, I finally got so tired of tomatoes by the end of this. I said, pull them out. I can't take it anymore. We have a huge deck and the vines completely cover the deck. So
Okay.
be very cautious about those because they will produce. They're good, but they will produce.
yeah. In the first 2 years is kind of a learning curve when you go through it. It will produce for you, no doubt about it, the first year or 2, but you will learn what your environment is best for and also which things you like the best, which varieties of plants and that sort of thing. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun.
Good. Okay.
So if that's it, then we can sign off here, and Penny will answer questions that you have, Luann, and Penny can revert back to me, and I can help as well. So,
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Kevin.
Sherry.
Thank you,
all
Penny.
right.
Nice to see you, Debbie.
Meeting y'all.